One of the biggest expenses that most people incur, apart from their housing cost, is transportation. And a big chunk of that goes to purchasing cars. In the UK, there are various methods to purchase cars, whether that be buying the car outright, you've got all the money, so you decide to purchase this car all at once, or you can lease the car, which is basically a form of borrowing. So it's like kind of renting. You are renting the car, and the car is never going to be yours at any point in time. You've got an agreement for X amount of years. So, for example, you want to rent this car for 5 years. You can rent the car, but after the 5 years, you give the car back. It is never going to be yours. The third agreement is through hire purchase, which is similar to getting a loan. You get a loan to say, I want to buy this car, but I haven't got all the money at once. I've got X amount of money. I'm going to put down X amount of money, and every month I'm going to pay back this amount of money for the next 3 years. And at the end of the 3-year term, the car will fully be mine. The fourth method of buying a car is through PCP. Now, this is one of the most common methods that people use to purchase cars, which is basically that you have a deposit, you pay a monthly amount of money, and towards the end of the term, you have the option to either buy the car outright by doing a balloon payment, okay, or you can trade the car in and say, I don't want this car anymore, I want another one, and that car would then be the deposit for the new car that you want. Or you can say, I'm done, I don't want the car anymore, and this is that for that. Do you know what I mean? So before we even go into the details of how to purchase a car, the first and the most important question that you need to ask yourself is, do you really need a car? Because apart from the actual cost of the car, owning a car comes with so many other hidden costs. And these costs can add up to be quite significant depending on what they are and depending on your personal circumstances. For example, if you are a new or inexperienced driver, your insurance cost is going to be super high. I, for example, am an inexperienced driver because I've only had my license for 1 year. And I never had any driving experience in Nigeria. So because of that, my insurance premium is over £1,700 per annum. And I know that these insurance premiums go up to 2,000, 3,000, and even £4,000 per annum, depending on what type of car you are driving. Another important thing to consider is parking. Parking is not free in the UK more often than not. So you're going to have to pay for parking many times. At work, if I have to drive into work because I don't have staff parking, I pay £12 for my shift every single time I drive into work. And if I drive into work 10 times, that's easily £120. Multiply that by 2, that is £240 if I have to go to work 20 times in a month. That is a significant amount of money that you have to really think about if it's worth spending, especially because you can use public transport to achieve similar results. It might cost you time instead of money, but again, this is where knowing your personal circumstance comes into play. Also, MOT, fixing things. Things can spoil in the car, that, and the third. And this is something else that you honestly have to factor in because it's not all fun and games when you have a car. It is a liability. It is an asset, depending on however way you want to look at it. But the important thing is it will cost you money apart from the initial upfront cost of buying the car. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, one question that I really want to tackle is, should you lease, buy, rent, or hire a car? What should you do? How should you buy your car? And one thing that I don't like a lot in this country is that people to say that buying a brand new car is never a great option. I've done the liberty of comparing the Tesla Model 3, buying the car outright, leasing the car, PCP, and hire purchase options for the Tesla Model 3 2025. I've also done the liberty of finding the Tesla Model 3 that is a few years old so that you can actually see that it is not always the best answer to buy a used car. Sometimes it's perfectly fine to buy a brand new car. And that is actually the more financially savvy and literate thing to do. Okay, so we're going to jump into numbers now, and I'm just pulling up the numbers that I have done. So we're going to start with buying the car outright. The price of this car at the moment is £39,990 for the Tesla Model 3. If you've got the money, you put down £39,990 for a 2025 Tesla Model 3 and you walk away with the car. Everyone's happy. But again, opportunity cost. Think about it. If I put down £39,990, is there something else that my £39,990 could do for me other than buy the car that could potentially generate me money? Because remember the conversation that we've had. A car is a depreciating asset. It is going to cost you money. It is not going to make you money except you want to use the car for Uber or a business. But if it's for your personal use, it is not going to make you money. So is there a way that you can invest maybe some of this £39,990 into maybe the S&P 500 that would give you 10% on average every single year instead of tying it down to a car? These are personal questions that you need to ask yourself. Second model, and I'm using the same deposit for the sake of comparing apples to apples. We're using the same car model, the same deposit. And the brilliant thing is at the minute, Tesla is actually running a promo where you pay 0% APR. So you're not going to pay any money in interest for whatever model that you've chosen to buy, as long as it's a new electric car from Tesla. Okay, so if you're leasing, the down payment for leasing is £4,032, and this is taking £345 for a 12-month period, as you can see on the screen. By the time you do that and you do it over 48 months, which is 4 years, you would have paid £16,128 to Tesla for leasing this car, for borrowing this car. So at the end of the day, we can say that in the 4 years that you've driven this car, it has cost you £16,120 to ride the car. You don't have the option of owning this car at any point in time. So once that 4-year period is up, you are going to return the car. It is not yours, and you're going to walk away simply as you would have if you were renting a house. You simply return the keys back to the landlord and you walk away with nothing but the memories of riding your beautiful car and all the pictures that you had while you were riding the car. Okay. The next option is PCP. Again, with the same down payment of £4,032, you are going to have a monthly payment of £395 over 48 months. And then at the end of the 4-year period, it would have cost you £22,992 to ride this car. And there will be a lump sum payment of £16,998. Now, as I say, you can either choose to pay the £16,998 at once, finance the £16,998 if you haven't got the money. How you choose to finance it is up to you. You can get a personal loan from your bank if you want, or if Tesla is still running a promo, you might be able to get it at 0% APR as well, so you don't pay any interest on this money, or you might have to pay interest on it. But typically, paying the interest rates are usually about 11 to 13%. So if you're going to pay interest on the rest of the money, then that is usually the ballpark of interest rates for car loans. If you want to own the car at any point in time, then this is definitely an option that you can take. If you don't plan on owning the car and you know that you're simply going to turn it back in and you want to walk away, then it's probably cheaper for you to lease the car, because the total cost of leasing over 4 years is £16,128 versus the total cost of PCP over 4 years, which is £22,992. Okay. And we're going to move on to hire purchase. The down payment for hire purchase is still £4,032. But you want to own this car, so you're going to finance the rest of it, and the monthly payments will come down to £749. This is usually the most expensive monthly payment of the lot because you are actually going to own the car. There's no option for any balloon payment. At the end of the day, you're going to walk away with your car. So you want to spread the cost of everything in that period. You're going to spread the cost of the £35,952 that you are borrowing over the 48-month term, and that comes to £749 monthly. At the end of it, you would have paid the full £39,990 that the car is worth. I hope that this video has been insightful. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Would you buy, lease, PCP, or hire purchase your car? Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.